Good evening, Dice Roll fans, and welcome back to D&D Self-Diceolation, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign set in the world of Eberron. My name is Tom, and I will be your Dungeon Master for this evening. Hopefully, everyone can actually hear me this time.
It sounds loud on mine. I
That's
just loaded the screen very quickly.
absolutely fine. I can just tweak that down a little bit. There we go. That should be a little bit more bearable. Yes, we're working with new hardware again, following my laptop being repaired. So, joining me tonight are some of our returning group of regular adventurers. First of all, Mr. James Oakley.
Hello, I'm Oakley, and I'm playing Kallus Lanick, the human wizard.
Mr. James Harper.
That is I. I am playing Mike Your Bedrock, the Digger, a Warforged Storm Surge sorcerer.
And finally, Mr. Richard Badger.
Hello, I'm Badger. I'm playing Mick Dagger, the swifter rogue.
And potentially we may have one more member joining us later on. Definitely not joining us this week are Mr. Lee Shaw and Miss Emily Westcott. Lee is currently enjoying his birthday celebrations, so happy birthday, Shawbaw.
Do we all get advantage because he's gone?
Nope.
Don't get by it, just for the fact that he's not here.
And notably, Emily is currently at the Download Pilot Festival event, rocking out for science. We love
which
and
we're definitely
miss
not jealous for.
both of you. Happy Father's Day to any dads listening in.
Or any daddies.
Or any daddies listening in. Hello.
Hello.
Father's Day in the UK this weekend.
I feel that, we're missing M for this week. Isn't a bad thing, really, is it?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it is uncertain Notad's stance on Father's Day.
Hello,
he could easily be a father.
More cards than Christmas potential there. Right. Before
we have Lacey.
Oh, there he is, Mr. James Lacey. Please introduce yourself.
I'm James Lacey. I play Druke, the barbarian wizard hobgoblin. Oh, I forgot that bit. I'm also a hobgoblin.
Excellent. You're also the only dad joining us on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you. You may start the game with inspiration.
Hey, thank you.
I don't know, I'm a father. Can I get inspiration?
Nope. Only confirmed legitimate children.
Oh, confirmed parents. Yep. Okay.
You don't ask, you don't get. In fairness, Honky, you need to have sex to be a father, so...
I have a sex, it's male, thank you.
And my apologies, I should have been more specific. Sexual intercourse with another person, preferably female if you want to go down that specific route.
Well, before we dig any further into this,
You saying adoption's not legitimate?
I'm sorry, have
Just
you adopted
walk
someone?
away.
Before we go any further down this potentially treacherous rabbit hole, Mr. Harper, do you have any brain children to bring to the table tonight in the form of our sponsor?
I do.
Then please birth for us from your mind vagina your narrative brainchild.
Every part of that made me cringe and throw up a bit in my mouth.
It should do.
Not you, Honky.
Yes, you.
Sorry.
Do you like sports? We have sports right here. Sports in the Cornerstone Arena, the home of sports. Sports be had within these walls. Sports be had outside these walls. We have sports going on right now. Sports be advertised everywhere. Sports be played everywhere. Sports for me. Sports for you. Sports for family. Sports for sports. 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 I'm having a stroke.
Oh my!
I think that's my favourite so far.
Thanks.
Sports.
Thanks to the Cornerstone Arena of Sharn for sponsoring tonight's episode.
Who will be assisting us with the video assistant replay feature.
Oh.
So that any confirmed kills, we can confirm who actually dealt the final blow.
We will cut
via
to
the assistant
replays.
replay. Yeah, we will cut to. We can cut to replays. Basically, we'll have referee in.
Is that the docent in your eye doing that?
I was about to say, is that a docent sort of?
There's docent cams. There's Cornerstone Arena sponsored cams. We got cameras everywhere today.
Sorry, just to sort of talk outside the game again. At the moment, my spawn is currently singing old MacDonald, and so there is a very real possibility that she will at some point emerge and demand my attention. I will
So
move.
if we hear you making pig noises, we know why.
It's absolutely fine. Right, so last time you made your way through the magic wastes of the Mournland aboard the flying dwarven ether ship, the Mist Cutter, under the command of Chief Operating Admiral Harbeck Mithrelbeard. In the skies above the Mournland, you engaged in a fierce battle with a ghostly airship, crewed by skeletons and captained by a skeletal knight out for revenge against Admiral Mithrelbeard over an unsettled debt. As the cannons roared and the airships began to take damage, Notad made a bold boarding action to set the opponent's craft on fire. As your gnome warlocks sabotaged the enemy vessel and made good their escape, an ether kraken emerged from the clouds above. The mythical beast lured by something magic and powerful. With the new threat emerging from above and the Mist Cutter taking more damage, Mick loaded a powerful and unstable dragon shard into the cannon. The shot sailed through a hole in the Phantom Craft's hull and tore apart the ethereal timbers, sending it down into the mists below, along with your beastly pursuer. The Mist Cutter's safe, Mithrelbeard sent your party to the brig as punishment for bringing the dragon shard aboard without his knowledge. There you remained for the rest of your journey across the Mournland. Tonight's adventure picks up a few days later. After crossing the Mournland, the Mist Cutter deposits both you and your carriage, the Smash and Grab, into the land of Valanar. This region is known as the homeland of the elves in Corvair, famed for their
birds.
This region is known as the homeland of the elves in Corvair.
Sorry, I missed the mute at the right time. Sorry.
I figured as much. This land is known as the homeland of the elves in Corvair, famed for their swift mounts and fierce mercenary bands. Dion, your lieutenant commander within the Boromar clan, has requested that you head to the town of Keth, a small settlement in central Valanar. This town is the source of a particular delicacy favoured by Illyra Boromar for her diplomatic functions and formal occasions. A shipment is running late, and Dion needs you to chase it up whilst you are in the region. So we pick up with you guys on the road inside the Smash and Grab. It's on the road again. It is middle of the day, sort of anywhere between what you reckon is maybe 11 and 1. Around you are the rolling plains of Valanar. It is a relatively flat landscape that you can see around you. It's sort of undulating, gentle slopes and steps interspersed with the odd rocky rise and some quite nice but relatively small forest areas. What are you all up to? We'll start with Kallus.
So, I will. What am I going to do? I think I'll just be keeping an eye out. I haven't got anything particularly that I can do whilst travelling, to be honest. I haven't got anything I want to make, so I'm just going to keep an eye out on the landscape for
Absolutely
attacks.
fine. No worries. If you can go ahead and roll me a perception check, please. Whilst you're doing that, we'll move on to Mick.
We're gonna say, so we've only just landed with the. Not really doing anything, are we?
You've probably been on the road for maybe the better part of anywhere between sort of 5 and 6 hours at this stage. So essentially, you made your way through the Mournland aboard the Mist Cutter. It's set you down outside the range of this dangerous arcane fog, and the Smash and Grab has been unloaded. You guys have gotten on board. Claude has charted the course, for lack of a better word, and you've headed out with the none too friendly farewells of the Mist Cutter's crew.
I would probably just be chilling. I'm not gonna lie, there's not really much I can be doing, is there? So,
Absolutely fine. Just want to get a sort of general idea of what you'd be spending your time
probably
doing
just
on the
be,
road.
You know, steering clear of the crew to, I did just load what they thought was a potential nuclear weapon into a cannon. So
Yeah, there
just keep it
were.
low and out the way,
That's fine. I'd say with your sort of natural stealthy abilities, you've managed to maintain a low profile. Those crew members that you did sort of catch the eye of were difficult to see through, like the sort of mask and goggle setup, but it's as much as a derisive look that you could get from someone in full protective gear. Michael.
I've been thinking long and hard about what I would actually be doing while traveling.
Oh,
I think I'd
God.
just be having a conversation with the docent.
Okay. About anything in particular?
Probably something that would really annoy him.
Why do you need my body? I can't shove your.
Okay. We'll just call this a straight out charisma check
Oh.
on there, just to get a vibe of sort of how.
Is my relation with the docent
Yeah,
actually
just
improving?
to sort of gauge a relationship between the two of you.
Okay,
And
it's an
we'll,
11.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a sec. And finally, Daisy, what are you up to? What are you doing? How are you spending your time on the journey? Have you muted yourself again, dude?
He did.
I'm guessing he's, moving in the background
He's
somewhere.
indisposed.
Indisposed,
He's
not
taking
to
stuff.
worry. Not
He's
to
at
worry.
old McDonald's farm.
The joys
Oh,
of being.
apologies. I've just come back to that.
About to say the
There-
joys of parenthood.
There was a poo incident that required attention.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Happy
I thought I'd-
Father's Day!
Happy
Yeah.
Father's Day.
This is my gift to you.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So, how has Daisy spent their free time on the road so far? As I say, you probably had about 5 or 6 hours actually to yourself, free of the brig on board the airship.
Sorry. She. I'll be right back.
All right, so we'll come back
Daisy,
Take
to
his stuff.
you're not nicking Daisy's stuff. How every week with this shit? Every week.
Eventually you will cave and say yes.
Right. So, Kallus, what did you get on your perception roll?
13.
Okay. So, there's not. Aside from sort of general flora and fauna, it is relatively featureless. You see the occasional remains of some elven architecture that you can make out. These very sort of pale stone and quite sort of high arched structures, sort of very narrow and quite steepled bits and pieces dotted the landscape. And you can see there is quite clearly a well-travelled road from the landing spot leading through the steps to your destination. You can see just in the distance there is this little settlement rising up. In regards to sort of any other notable features, again, not really a huge amount going on around you. But you certainly see no danger. You do not detect the presence of any tails or anyone trying to follow you. So all in all, you expect a really peaceful journey.
Oh.
Am I still there?
Yep.
Yep, cool, that's fine. New setup.
I'm assuming it
Gotta love
didn't
it.
pick up what I said.
I don't think it did. Mike, you said you got a 13 in charisma roll.
11.
11, sorry. Okay. Conversation with the docent, it's not going brilliantly. This is a very old, very intelligent magical creature that has been embedded into you. And you do get the impression that they would rather be installed in anything else right now. They're not getting as much out of this partnership as you are.
Yeah, seems a little understandable.
Yeah, they miss having legs of their own.
Of course.
Who wouldn't?
Indeed.
So, as the day draws on, you're on the road for maybe another, say another couple of hours. Like I say, very, very flat landscape, very good visibility all round. Kallus has seen Keth from quite a distance away. And as you start to approach the town, you can see smoke rising from within the town walls. And as you get closer, you can start to hear shouts, sound of fighting. And you realise that the smoke coming from the town is slightly more than the odd, chimney and bakery and smithy going on.
Uh-oh.
As you look towards the town walls, you find that the gates are completely open. And Claude has stopped the smash and grab short of actually pulling into the city walls themselves. Kallus, as you've been the sort of the watch point for this one, you're the first to see this. As you look into the walls of the town, you can see that there are quite a few sort of Les Mis style street barricades made from bits of furniture and just odds and sods that have been set up. There is a main road that travels straight through the centre of town from one gate to the other side. And you can see that both gates of the town are open. You can basically see right through the main drag, straight across to the other end. The architecture inside is very similar to, similar in design to what you've seen before. This is clearly elven architecture. Again, it's got this sort of pale stone and timber construction to it, very tall, sweeping arches. But what you can see inside the town, in and amongst these sort of makeshift barricades, are groups of elves, predominantly elves and half-elves. On the left-hand side of the street, you can see there are a group waving a banner with a red cloth tied to it, and all of them have some piece of cloth or a handkerchief or a scarf or something tied to their robes, work overalls, in some cases armor. Just a piece of red to mark them out. And similarly, on the right-hand side, you can see the same scenario where the citizens have marked out their attire with blue cloths. And you can see that there is there's torches burning, there's people shouting, there's the occasional stone or something getting chucked over. Neither side seems really wanting to cross into the main street into open combat, but they are both very aggressively shouting and hurling insults and the odd bit of masonry at one another.
Do I have any idea what's going on? Is this like a well-known thing that goes on here? Or just DM
Make
question?
me a history check, please.
Ugh. 15. Actually, that's not too bad.
Not bad, not bad. So you know that Valinar predominantly was settled by elves, and as a result of, love finding a way, half-elves later on. The town of Keth, in particular, is a relatively decent-sized town. It is sort of this meeting point, this kind of almost neutral ground for travellers. It was established shortly after the end of the last war, and as far as you can remember or recall, you've never encountered any record of any conflict here. This has always been a very prosperous but relatively bucolic kind of setting. There's never been any reason to fight. All of the people work and work the land. There's never been any significant military presence. It's always been, they've kept themselves to themselves. They've never had enough to warrant being raided, and they've never been much of a threat to warrant raiding anywhere else.
Okay.
So this entire scene is particularly jarring. You know that the elves historically have been quite militant. A lot of them travel as mercenaries in small war bands, but never anything like this. This appears to be a complete civil disagreement between the citizenry.
Depending on what anyone else is doing, I'm just going to go up to someone random and see. Well, or shout down at them, because we're still on the carriage, right? Going.
So yeah, Claude has.
We're kind of.
Yeah, Claude has basically identified
Oh.
that this is not something you want to drive a carriage right through the middle of, so he has
Yeah.
stopped outside the city walls, and you can just see this tableau playing out in front of you through the frame of the city gates. Town gates, rather. It's not quite a city.
I'm going to go cautiously off to find somebody who doesn't look like they might murder me and see what the hell's going on. After everybody else has done stuff.
Yeah, you can see that there is just sitting by the city gate. There is a fairly wizened-looking half-elf. The only thing distinguishing them is the slightly less pointed ears and the fact that they've got a very long grey into white into silver goatee. Their hair is a similar colour and it's completely swept and brushed back along their head. They appear to be wearing some sort of ceremonial robes. Around the neck they've got like a pendant in the shape of a small curved knife, and they're just kind of leaning on a walking stick and just looking into the gates and just kind of shaking their head disapprovingly. As they see you approach, they just go, "Wasn't always like this, you know."
What wasn't? What is this? What is going on here?
Oh, I don't know where to start, really. It's at this point you can start to hear some of the shouts a bit more clearly from inside of the town. From the you can't pick out exactly which side they're coming from. You just hear every so often, "We're superior. This is far more efficient. You revel in chaos. You have no discipline. The holy text says it should be broken as chaos. The holy text should it be hewn from chaos." And this,
Okay.
there is this very obvious kind of ideological back and forth going on. The shouts are clearly two sides of a very, very fierce argument going on. The half-elf kind of looks up at you and he's got these striking golden yellow eyes. Okay. What business do you have in, Keth?
We're here to look for one of our associates for a delayed shipment, I believe.
Oh. Well, until this is sorted, nothing's coming in or coming out.
Excellent. And how could we speed that along? Can we kill one side? How many are there?
Oh, it's not their fault.
Doesn't matter.
Looking at your carriage, you're with the Boromars.
Correct.
Recognise the design. Lady Ilaria sent you down for some cheese, is it?
Do I remember this cheese? I've already forgotten if it was cheese. I think it is. It's a delicacy, isn't it, of some description?
Go ahead and
Yes.
I'd say, yeah, go make me another history check. Let's see if you remember.
9.
You have,
yes.
yeah, there's a vague
Ye-
sense memory of there being a very nice cheese platter at Illyra's birthday when you went to the
Yes.
Cornerstone Arena.
Cheese. That's right. Yes, I remember all of this. So, how long has this been going on for? First of all, and how long are we? How long do you normally see these kind of disputes last?
Oh, never seen anything like this before. Going on a couple of weeks.
Excellent.
You see, they sort of bring themselves to their feet. And they point to the faction wearing blue. And say, "These side are the Graters. That side," points to the ones wearing red, "are the Slicers. There seems to be a bit of a dispute about one of our holy texts."
Gonna be fucking cheating
And
on toast,
yeah, I
isn't
just waiting for this now. And the dispute is about what specifically?
Well, you see, the town of Keth was settled by...
I just already preparing himself for this.
The town of Keth was originally settled by the blessed Saint Calcius. He was a noble elf who roamed this land after the last war, brought peace, sowed prosperity, grew diplomacy between the different factions. He was a lovely chap, he really was. And after he passed away, he handed down his secrets of keeping peace. And he was interred in the sepulchre over there, and points with his walking stick towards outside town. Just kind of makes a general sort of stabbing the air motion. You don't really get any inference of where they're pointing. You see, St. Calcius had this little trick he did, whereby he would gather all the parties around the table. He would serve them his favourite food, cheese on toast.
Yeah, Badger called it.
Now the thing was,
What's up, the Queen's coming? I'll break out the chutney. Oh, don't go mad, Rodley.
Now the thing about St. Calcius was he had a special way of making the cheese, whereby he'd imbue some of his own peace and benevolence, and it would always bring a great sense of calm and a great sense of peace to the proceedings. I think that's why your Lady Illyra just likes to have it about the place, makes diplomatic meetings a little bit easier to handle, especially if they're quite tense. And for the longest time, after St. Calcius passed away and he was interred in his tomb, we continued his tradition of making the cheese in the way that he showed us, even using his very own resting place to age it, and thereby imbuing some of his essence back into it. But recently, I don't know what's happened. There's been a dark presence coming out of that tomb. Some folks say it does something to the cheese, and I reckon that's what sparked this off.
I do hate cheese to be ruined, so I feel like I'm okay with trying to figure this out.
I mean us more than anyone. It's our primary export.
Swear to God, if there's a cheese lich.
I want there to be a cheese wish, but we will then have to have the worst choice of whether to defeat it or use all of its cheesy powers. It's just gonna be honky, isn't it?
At this
With
point,
all of his cheesy puns for the whole time.
you can start to hit the shouts are starting to make more sense now. You just hear the graters going, "Grating is superior. It's the most efficient use of any shape of cheese. No, slicing's the true way. It is measured, ordered, organised. You slicers adhere to your rigidity. You refuse to embrace the truth. You graters revel in your chaos. You've got no discipline, and it'll be your end. The holy text says the cheese should be broken as chaos and brought to harmony through the toasting. The holy text says that the cheese should be hewn from chaos and brought to order before the toasting. And it's just this constant back and forth of what is now clearly a very tense situation about the correct preparation of their sacred food.
If we shout "no one cares" into it, do you think we'll get killed?
You can certainly try.
Can I stick my head out the top of the
not gonna
carriage and
try.
yell, "And how toasted should the bread be?" Just to spur things on even more.
Stop fueling the fire! What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Mick, you just about managed to duck as a couple of pebbles just come whistling over the top of the carriage. You just hear
How
a
dark
voice.
should the tea
You
be?
just hear a voice from the top of the city walls going, "Bugger off, outsiders! Keep your opinions to yourself."
It was a question, you asshole.
Fucking trolls.
Ask another one. I've got another dozen of these bastards to throw at you. You may have got lucky on that one, but I tell you what, my aim's improving. Actually, just for the hell of it, he's going to hook another pebble at you. That one misses. But yeah, he's getting his eye in.
Drop your cheese eating surrender monkey. Anyway.
Oh, that's it for you. Yeah, another 3 pebbles just clatter off of the roof of the carriage.
I'll just pop my head back in because I'm guessing Kallus is probably starting to get annoyed. I'm getting stones chucked at us.
I've wandered off a undisclosed distance away, so I don't care.
So I'd say the carriage is parked up just, far enough away that you'd be able to do something if someone decided to rush you from the city gates. But you, Kallus, you're fairly close to the action. This elder half elf is just sort of sitting on a large rock outside the city gates.
I'm gonna, I suppose, climb out the carriage because obviously they ain't letting us in.
Can you just make me a stealth check, please, Mick? Just to see how unnoticed you are getting out of the carriage.
Yes, that's a nat 1. Oh, what a great way to start a campaign.
Nice.
You just you've as you step down from the carriage, you have to sort of quickly step back in as you count another 10 or so pebbles just hitting the dirt outside. Was your intention to sort of get down from the carriage and go over to Kallus?
My intention was just to get out the carriage and see what's going on a bit better.
Okay, so yeah, they've got their eye on you now, so you can get out the carriage, but you will be under fire.
Just start throwing cheeses, catch it.
Just quickly then, Mike, what are you up to?
Keep walking around asking people why they're so angry.
So you've actually got out of the carriage and gone
I
into
don't really know. I hear the word cheese a lot, but I don't really have a strong concept on the word cheese.
So have you
what
gone
it is.
into the city, into the town?
I'm kind of right in the middle of it all, yeah.
Okay.
I'm having pebbles. I'm having pebbles dashed off my head, but they don't really do much as I'm caught in the crossfire. I'm just kind of walking through, asking people questions about cheese and why it means so much.
Okay, so you approach one of the elves wearing the red cloth. First of all,
Yeah. Cool.
And they point across the way and goes, Those chaotic graters, they don't know what they're doing. Shredding the cheese up. It's a mess, bloody mess it is.
Why is it messy?
There's no order to it. How are you supposed to get a nice, even layer on the bread before you start toasting it? It's madness. You need to cut it into nice, even slices, lay it down flat, make sure you've got an even coverage across the bread, and then you can toast it.
That does sound like it makes the most logical sense.
Right?
Okay, I'm with you. Fuck you, you grating scum! And I throw a pebble at them.
Oh god.
Okay. Just make me
They die.
a straight dex check, just to see if you can hit anything.
That is a big old roll. Okay, 13.
13. Okay. Yeah, you pick up and huck a pebble across the lines. Yeah, you managed to ping it off one of the guys with the blue cloth. You just hear a shout from the other side. You go, "Hey, that shiny one's just chucked a rock at us. He hit me. They're bringing in outside help. They've got mercenaries, they have."
Outside help! I am born from calculations and logic, sir.
Well then,
And how
logically,
do
you
do
can
that
kiss
when
my
you construct
ass.
it from chaos. You monsters!
Oh yeah. What are you gonna do about it?
I think I just did something, didn't I? How's the mark on your forehead, you fleshy thing, you?
Oh, it's a fleshy versus you thing, is it?
It always has been, ever since I gained this stupid feeling thing.
At this point, they're like waving a cheese grater at you and say, "Come over here, I'll shred your face off."
Please, when was the last time you sharpened that thing?
This morning.
Oh.
Aye. Holy grater.
Holy grader.
I was waiting for the
kinda
argument that confuses him.
I cast Chill Touch on the grater.
Okay.
To give the grater in his hand feel like it's got the chill of the grave.
That's pretty dark.
Yep.
Guy's threatening me with a fucking cheese grater.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you haven't listened to their argument and their about
Absolutely
why the
fine.
greater's better.
Go ahead and make me a ranged spell attack. You are trying to hit a cheese grater at it's certainly within range because Chill Touch has a range of 120 feet, so you're not that much far apart. But yes,
16.
16. Yeah, I'd say that hits. You watch as the grater immediately just corrodes and turns to dust in this guy's hand.
I just kind of give that big, wide-eyed stare, you know, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
And I kind of point my finger at the grater, and I'm like staring it down. And I was like, "Don't threaten logic."
We'll step away slightly from you fermenting insurrection. Daisy, what are you up to?
I don't know. I'm trying to catch up with what's happened.
So it appears that you've walked into the middle of a theological civil war about the correct way in which to prepare cheese on toast.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no, I get all that. I'm just not sure what I would do. It's very hard to care about a snack as a hobgoblin when you spend most of your time trying not to be killed by all and sundry in the Underdark.
That's the first statement.
That was more my take. I suppose going back to what does it look like everyone else is doing?
So you can see that Kallus is talking with a relatively placid half-elf by the city gates. Mick is dodging pebbles and trying to make their way safely up towards Kallus, I believe, or at least try and get out of the carriage without being shelled. Micah has apparently picked a side in this fight. And has gone into the city and is now sort of wrapping a bit of red cloth around their upper arm.
You'll get us killed. Hello?
Okay, sorry, I'm still here. I was just thinking. I will go and I'm just trying to think what I'd do. I think I'd probably go inside with Micah in the asinine fight that he's having, but it's still a fight, and that seems like something I'd want to get involved in. So I think I'm just going to go next to him and say, basically do that thing where you like lean round someone's back and go, yeah.
Fair enough.
Think of what else.
Can you make me intimidation check, please, to see how seriously the opposing side is now taking you getting involved?
I rolled a 5, Thomas. How does that do?
Not great. Not great. In what is already a ridiculous fight, you are adding additional farce to the. You've like full on just leaning and going, yeah, I'll get you.
Yeah. Have you all seen Bill Bailey when he's talking about the UK's special relationship?
Yeah, pretty much that kind of vibe. You just sort of you've leaned round the back of Micah and just gone, yeah, we love you. At this point, the elder turns to Kallus and says, your friends aren't
all there. No, they're not.
they've not been brought in as muscle, have they?
Can I flex at him?
You wouldn't have heard this as
sorry.
you're currently in the rabble trying to find a bit of red cloth to add to your armour to show your allegiance to the noble order of the Slicers. This was directed from the elder to Kallus.
I'm not really sure what my colleagues are doing over there. Let's just get back to the cursed cheese, perhaps. Is there something we can do about this at the sepulchre?
Well,
or is there something we can do to speed this along? Because this is most inconvenient for the individuals that sent us. As you
yes.
no doubt know.
Highly inconvenient to us. Town's got no economy at the moment. Everyone's busy standing here giving it all the argy-bargy.
Well, yes, that also. So,
Yeah. Well,
maybe we can help each other out here.
You and your friends look fairly capable. I reckon you'd be up to taking on the trials that wait in the sepulchre.
Now, when you say trials, you know what we can expect.
I can only guide you. I can't intervene. The sepulchre of St. Calcius was... it is a holy site, and in order to enter the inner sanctum, you must prove yourselves worthy by performing 3 sacred rites. The rite of introspection, the rite of separation, and the rite of formation.
And can you tell me any more about these 3 trials?
Wants us to make some fucking cheese.
I can only guide you.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking this.
The trials you must
Very
undertake yourselves. But
very well.
if you are of noble heart and willing mind, I can put you on the path.
Noble, perhaps not, but we'll give it a go. Anything to remove this ridiculous conflict.
Very well. I suggest you gather your friends and follow me. And they start making their way off. You can see that there is a little path leading roughly in the direction of where they gesticulated with the walking stick.
Okay. I'm not actually going to do the whistle because that's probably going to be horrible on this. But I whistle or shout or something to the other guys, which I'm assuming they're still in range of me, right? Because I'm just by the gates and they're mostly by the
You would
carriage,
certainly
right?
be within shouting range, but can I just get you to make me a performance check just to see, like, just to gauge an idea of how easily you managed to cut through the din of the squabble going on?
That is a 5.
That's a 5. Okay. I mean,
swallow my own spit.
Yeah, you try a couple of times to like shepherd whistle, and it just get, and eventually you just kind of give up and just start waving your
I got
hands
some magic,
furiously.
Jesus. Oh,
Have you got magic?
I was heading
Can
towards him anyway.
prestidigitation do it? Oh no, it's the other one that can do loud.
You will pronounce the
No,
name of
ignore
that
me.
spell
I can no.
properly.
I thought prestidigitators. I thought that could do sound, but no, can't. Ignore me.
Okay. Yeah, so you start you try and gather their attention. And you the only reason you recognise that either of them have spotted you is a pebble just goes whizzing past your head, and you look over and you can see Mike yours just kind of looking a little bit sheepish.
It's hard to hold on, and the bandana is in the way of my eyes, and I'm like sporting this big red
That's
bandana
glaring.
on my forehead.
I would say at this, both Daisy and Michael would be aware that Kallus is trying to get your attention and usher you over.
Excellent.
Can't I stay and play more with the fleshy things? They're so
No, we
easy
gotta
to
end this
hit.
ridiculous conflict. We gotta go do some trials.
Trials?
Trials, cheese trials, probably.
Okay. Well, why not fun though? And I start like
He
you can
probably
see my
can't.
head. You can see my head like dip as I start
Trial.
walking back.
Of
I'm sorry,
Me-
guys. No, I'm
me
sorry,
of
guys.
dairy.
I'm sorry, guys. I've got to go. I've got to go. I know. I know.
Oh,
know.
come on, it's just getting interesting.
I know. I know. Look,
Oh.
it's he's a bit of a nose. Is that the word? Is that the word? I'm asking you. Is that the word?
I've no idea what you're going on about, but come on back afterwards. We'll have a bit of a punch up before the end of the day.
Yeah, sure.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'll save some pebbles for me. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, we've got plenty to go around, and you realise at this point you've been walking on gravel the whole time. Not because of any particular civic planning, just because the amount of stones that have been chucked back and forth have now created gravel paths on either side behind the barricades.
That's nice.
Okay.
Okay, bye. And then I like trudge back to Kallus.
Okay. So, following the village elder along this little path, it takes you sort of around the side of the town, following the walls, and a little way off. And you come across, and hopefully I should be able to get this to work on stream. Bam!
Ooh.
In a hollow in the ground, there is...
Transition.
Yeah, transitions, man. Or at least
Oh,
slamming
oh,
transitions.
mine took a few seconds, but
You come across a relatively well kept. It is overgrown, but the various sort of foliage that has grown into this sort of buried elven temple has been particularly sort of kept and manicured in keeping with the architecture, so it sort of works with the stonework around it. And standing in it's relatively large sort of circular space, and in the centre is this sort of raised dais with a large metal cauldron on it. And the elder goes up, and next to it are a few milk churns, and he just starts emptying what is clearly milk into this cauldron. Begins to explain, these have been taken from a herd of sacred cows once tended to by St. Calcius himself. This is the milk of their descendants. Very special, very, very, very reverent. Follow me.
That's disgusting. That'd be like me drinking oil from some other machine.
That's how you nourish your form. Who am I to judge you?
You don't even use a dipstick. This is.
This is just the first stage. The gathering and collection of the milk is only performed by those who have passed through the rites themselves. Are blessed by St. Calcius to tend his holy herd. Now, if you'll follow me, we shall proceed on to the first rite, the rite of introspection. And at this point, they start to push the cauldron. You can see that there are rails set into the floor leading to a door in an archway ahead of you, and they just start pushing the cauldron. It's on. You can see as it starts to move away from this sort of central stone place. There are a couple of little wheels underneath. It's on like almost like a little dolly as it's being pushed through. And as the cauldron gets closer to the doors, they just creak open, and you come into a second chamber, similar in sort of size and space to the first. And there's another dice in the centre where you can see that the tracks stop at. And the elder puts the cauldron to rest and sort of stretches a little bit, leans back on their walking stick. And as you make your way in, the doors close behind you. Turn to you and say, "This is the rite of introspection. Through the fires of self-reflection, we can identify the dual aspects within ourselves. So too can we bring forth the curds of spiritual growth from the way of worldly ties."
Huh?
I leave
Curds?
the rest of this to you.
What are curds?
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay.
So, you're in the room. The cauldron is in the centre, filled with milk.
Okay.
The elder has given you their specific yet cryptically worded message,
Yeah.
which I've popped into chat for you to review.
Ah. Cool.
Wrong way.
So what else
where's
is in the
that?
room with us other than just? Is there anything?
I see pictures of people looking angry. Am I looking at the right message board?
You are looking at the wrong message
General.
board. You should be looking in the self-isolation text chat.
Right, sorry, with you.
There we go.
To the
So,
first
looking around, you can see that the... so, make me an investigation check.
All of this?
Yes, yeah, of course, a group investigation check, please.
Ooh.
Oh god.
Why is my stats so... Okay, cool.
Your stat is crazy high because you have the assistance
I-
of
Because
the
I
docent.
have the docent. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, yep,
20,
you can carry
20, 25.
25. Okay.
12.
I
Oh.
also got 9.
And Daisy?
Oh, 9, sorry.
9. Okay,
I
so...
was trying not to yell at you, the numbers.
It's fine. So, between you all start to take a look around, and you can see that there are various little stacks of timber knocking around. There's some torches set into the wall. Michael, you get like the full detective vision HUD readout. As you look around, you can see the dose. Yeah, it's like it's highlighting bits and pieces. You can see that there is identifiably some sort of mechanism set into the door you came in through that is tied to the tracks in the floor. You can see there is a door on the other side of the room, directly in line with it, across the sort of circle of this space. And you can see that the floor where the cauldron is set into, there is a sort of grating set into that, with a space underneath where the rails are suspended over.
Underneath that, is there somewhere where we could apply a heat source, I'm assuming?
Yeah, go ahead and make me a strength check, please, Kallus.
Oh god.
Yep.
Better you than me.
That's a 4.
That's a 4. So it takes an embarrassing amount of effort on your part, but you find that the grating around the cauldron is divided into smaller sections. Being a none too athletically proficient wizard, you almost throw your back out trying to pull one of these sections up, and you find it moves apart, and you can see that in the sort of void underneath the cauldron there are this sort of thick layer of ash down at the bottom space.
Okay.
Is there anywhere that looks like a grill?
So the
Sorry, I
around
should have been more specific. I meant like, is anything look like a toaster?
there is nothing toaster or toaster adjacent within the space.
Oh, that's a shame.
As Kallus has discovered this, and you said there's a pile of wood.
There are various little stacks of dried wood looking around, like little just sort of like stacked piles, very neatly arranged.
So can we start to stack some of the wood under the grill that
Yep.
we just moved?
I will just get the ash out and just tidy up with
Okay.
something. Prestidigitation. Prestidigitators.
Prestidigitators. Okay, yeah.
Blow away the dust, ash and shit, and then I'll help Mick move some logs in there, despite being now crippled slightly.
Okay, yeah. So you've definitely done something to your back at this stage. You hope it's not going to come back and get you. So
Get me a walking stick.
you start to clean out the void underneath there. Mick, can you go ahead and make me a we'll call this Dex sleight of hand check just to actually no. I assume you're stacking the wood with the intention of making a fire on there. Can you go ahead and make me a survival check, please? Wisdom survival, just to gauge sort of how good you are at building a fire.
We're all gonna be shit.
Not too bad. This is 17.
17, fantastic. Yeah,
That's
so
good.
you take some time. You identify sort of the best wood for like the base and the best wood for kindling and starting it, and you get it all nice and evenly laid out.
Like real life, Badger.
Yeah. So the wood is prepared, and it is ready to go.
Right. Are any of these torches around the edge of the room lit?
Yes, so there are 4 torches, almost like if you've got a circular space, you've got the door you came in from, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, arranged at sort of 90-degree points, kind of like cardinal compass points.
The fire set up by now, like the fireplace.
So the logs are all very neatly arranged and stacked.
All right, cool. I just point my finger and cast fireball at it,
Okay, yep. That's
like a big old.
Yep. Go ahead and make me a ranged spell attack, please.
Cool.
It shouldn't be difficult to hit a stationary object.
Stack of logs.
Yeah.
17.
Absolutely flawless. Yeah. So you point your finger and just little mote of fire just sparks out and ignites the wood underneath. As it does, you can see that the flames appear to be rising as if there is some air being drawn in and sort of fanning these flames, but you can't see any kind of like vents or anything that could be feeding the fire at this stage. As you look around, you can see the door on the far side is starting from the bottom and working its way up. You can see this sort of red glow, almost like metal being heated, starting to work its way up. I would say with the combination of how well the fire has been made, the magical ignition source, it takes about 8 minutes or so. And you can see that the cauldron is starting to heat and bubble, and you can see that the milk inside is starting to separate. You can see the sort of curd starting to form up in there. And as the red coloration on the door reaches the top of the apex, you just hear a little bell go ding. And you look over and you can see that the elder is there just with a small bell. Put that back in their pocket. They say,
Okay.
Through the fires of self-reflection, the curds of spiritual growth have been revealed. Let us move on to the second rite. The rite of separation. And they tap their walking stick on the side of the cauldron. And you hadn't noticed this up until now, but there is a sort of band around the top that just separates into two parts and drops away. And around the top lip of the cauldron, you can see that there are this series of little holes set in. A series of set of tracks rise from the floor towards the door in front of you. The red glowing door has now swung open, and the elder has sort of braced their walking stick against the cauldron and begins to push it through into the next room. So the door is still open, still glowing red. Is there anything you would like to do before moving on to the next rite?
Let's go to Kallus. I can kill this guy at the end, right?
Dear God, I hope so. Let's get the cheese first, then we'll deal with him.
Before. Why didn't he tap the stick before? Why didn't you tap the stick before?
It's because he was trying to find where the floor was again, Mike.
Oh. Okay. And I carry on like as if it was explained to me. I just walk.
You're just
forgot
like
about that. I
completely.
appreciate that.
You're just 100% fine with this explanation. You're just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Moving on.
Yeah, that is
Like
true. Fleshy
when he had
things
to
do
walk
need to
stick.
check the floor, and I guess cauldrons. So I just walk on. Yeah.
Beautiful. So as you make your way into the next chamber, it is very similar to the one that you've just left. There is the same circular space, the same arrangement with torches, and the same sort of raised dais in the centre for the cauldron to sit into. Again, you can see a door on the far side, and as you all make your way in, the door glowing red from the first rite swings closed and shuts behind you, and you see the red glow start to fade down on that. And the elder steps back, pulls out a plain little handkerchief and just wipes sweat off their brow, and turns to you and says, "This is the rite of separation. Cycles bind and guide us, but also usher forth change. The turn of the days, the changing of the seasons, the march of generations through the ages. As one travels through these cycles, we must learn to let go of the material way which fetters the soul, to set free the curds of our most noble self." Again, they step back. They step back, and you can tell that this is like a well-rehearsed performance from this elder. And again, they step back and just sit down, sort of have a bit of a rest, and just leave you to your own devices.
I was going to say, yes. Very good at separating things. Mainly people
Investigation.
from the bodies.
Okay.
I look about the room.
Yeah, same.
Okay. If you can go ahead and make me a group investigation check again, please.
Cool.
Oh, natural 20.
Boom jams. Nice.
Oh, another 25.
Wonderful.
Why do I
18.
even bother?
28.
And Daisy?
18.
18. Okay,
I can't
so
help but think that Badger might be reading my rolls instead of his own.
Right, I'm rolling actual dice.
Sure you are, bud.
okay, so this room, second verse, similar to the first. Same layout, same position for the cauldron, same arrangement with doors and torches. This time, Mick and Daisy, you can see that around the room there are these sort of long, like metal poles with kind of hand grips on them. Mycure and Kallus, who are a little bit more attuned to this. Mycure on the grounds of having the docent installed in your head. Kallus, this one plays a little bit more into your mechanical and construct heritage. between the two of you, you can identify that there are 4 slots in the floor around the cauldron. You can see that they are set into a ring which is roughly the same sort of diameter as the grill was, but doesn't appear to offer any sort of void space underneath. This appears to be a solid ring, but you can see that it is definitely a different material to the rest of the dais that the cauldron is set into. Again, you can see that there are these 4 holes set into position, lining up with the positions of the torches.
Okay. Can I just go grab one of the torches,
Yes,
And-
certainly.
pop it into the slot hole thing?
So as you pick up the torch, the torches themselves are the sort of a metal kind of brazier thing set into the wall. So
Okay.
as you lift it out, you can see that there is what appears to be some sort of enchanted coals or something going on in there. They've got this very sort of rustic, oldie worldy kind of vibe to them, but you're fairly certain that sort of normal combustible materials would not be burning for as long or as consistent, providing this sort of consistent level of light. As you place the torch into the slot, you realise it's completely loose inside of this. It's very obvious straight away that it was not designed to fit there.
Bubbles.
Would these not be something to do with it? Choking the big metal pole handle things.
Try that.
Okay, so as you grab one of these, put the torch back, grab one of the poles, fits in an absolute charm. As it does, you just hear this clunk as you feel that there's this sort of shutter that goes through the pole, and as you try to pull it back out, you feel that it is locked into position in there.
Do the same with the other poles.
So as you set the other poles in, you lock the second, third. As you come to the 4th one, it locks in and you feel a shift. So as the 4th pole locks into position, you see the pole itself shifts forward, and you notice that the ring that the poles are set into has rotated slightly. And you also notice that the cauldron has rotated slightly in the opposite direction. You can see the milk inside of it is sort of sloshing around. You can see the sort of lumps of curds just kind of bobbing about.
It's just a giant centrifuge room. I push on one of the other poles.
Okay.
To see what happens.
We're gonna
go ahead and make me a strength athletics check for this.
Oh dear God! None of us have any strength in this fucking room.
And I help him for what it's worth with my.
That's fine. You can both have a go at this. If you want to call everyone, if you want to call everyone in on this, this is going to be a group strength athletics check.
Yeah, I'll just get the whole group, everybody to push on the pole.
Okay.
20.
Group strength athletics check.
Oh, not 20!
Yes.
Okay.
I will never roll that again.
I got 11.
I mean, my nat 20 still brings me to 18, but
Mine brings me to 20.
My 11 brings me to 11.
Fantastic. And Daisy?
13, sorry, was it? Yeah, 13.
13.
I don't know why I got 18 in my head there, sorry.
You got excited by everyone else. It's all
Pretty much.
right. So, between the 4 of you, you push on these. Kallus and Michael are making an absolute breeze of this, to the point at which Daisy and Mick are every couple of rotations, you sort of almost just about manage to keep your footing as the poles rotate past the area where the tracks lead the cauldron onto the centre plinth. As you start to turn it, Mycure, with the assistance of the docent, you can see that as you start to turn this ring, the cauldron is turning in the opposite direction, and by your calculations, there is some sort of gearing ratio that is spinning the cauldron faster than the rate of rotation on the outer ring. You can also see on the door the door opposite to the one that you come in from are a series of gears that have started turning, set into the face of the door. As you start to move this ring round and round, the cauldron starts to spin faster and faster. You can see that the liquid part of the mixture is starting to rise up the side of the cauldron. Again, appears to be a little bit physics defying, but you can roll with that. And as it does, the liquid part of this curdled milk is starting to sort of spit out through the sort of vents in the top of the cauldron. Now, this is magically superheated milk that is spitting out at this point, and you are hitting it with a fair old amount of force.
Diet milk.
Each of you takes 3 points of hot milk damage
God damn it.
Fucking
as
serious.
it spits
On
out.
Father's Day.
What a shit game. Hot milk damage.
Hot
You
milk
never
damage.
want to take hot milk damage.
I'm laughing, but I'm crying.
It's in my
at the
eye!
side.
I mean, it'll be reduced if any of you have resistance to hot milk.
Oh wait, I do.
Do you? Do you really? Do you genuinely have resistance to hot milk?
Can I
It'll
make a
just make you
deception check?
sticky.
Can
Let's
I make
just-
a deception check on the DM? No?
You can certainly try. I mean, I'm looking at your character sheet now, and whilst you do have the resistance to poison and immunity to disease,
I would look. What if I'm lactose intolerant, which would be poisonous, which would make lactose poisonous to me? Therefore, hot milk would not affect me if I have resistance to it.
What if Mick has barista training? Does that...
does
Anyway.
Mick have
I beg you,
barista?
just stop saying
Don't
hot
go.
milk.
You know what? Tell you what. If both of you make me, both Mick and Mycure, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, fuck.
If
Okay.
you beat a
I've already
15,
added the damage.
if you beat a
but,
15, I will mitigate it down to 1 point of hot milk damage.
Okay. Do you know what? It's worth a roll. Oh, come on! 16!
Dexterity saving throw for me would be 22.
Okay, so you both only take a single point of hot milk damage from this.
I've already taken off the 3. I'm not
So-
changing it, but it's just funny.
Fair enough. You just take the hot milk to the face like a fucking champ.
The hot
doesn't
milk makes
even
me go,
wanna touch
"Oh, yeah!"
What are you
He
on about?
moves his face into the path.
What are you on about? Yeah, I'm part cat. Fucking hot milk.
I beg you, stop.
I take your inspiration and get out. Oh my god. Alright. You know what, in a weird way, I'm kind of glad that Emma's not here because she would be a nightmare right now.
She would.
Well,
Jesus.
the fact that my character's part cat and we're doing everything with milk here, I am really tempted to.
True. Very, very true. Okay,
No, no, Tad.
so
He probably took
No
double
Tad
damage.
would be all over this, for sure.
No Tad would take double damage.
so briefly trying to lever this back on
White
track.
stuff spewing everywhere with no Tad's job.
God damn it, shut up. Right. Back on track. Fuck's sake. So, as the cauldron spins up, the liquid part of the hot milk splashes out through the vents, leaving just behind the solid curds of milk inside. As you continue to push, you can see that the cauldron is slowing down, regardless as to how much more effort you put in, and you feel a slight pull on the holes. As you let go and sort of step back, you see that the outer ring sort of moves itself back into its home position, and the cauldron stops spinning. The wheels on the little dolly now lining up with tracks that have risen out of the ground, pointing towards the next exit door. The gears on the door have started to chink, 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 chink into place, and the doors open.
Would you say the wheels on the dolly go on the tracks? On the tracks. On the tracks.
I heard him slip up there and said the wheel on the trucks go round and round.
I almost did.
All through the town.
Good lord.
The elder steps out and says, "The rite of separation has been completed." And you can see that they're just sort of hanging up a sort of yellow leather kind of splash mac thing on a hook by the door. And you can just see like the odd bit of milk dripping off of it.
That's just me licking my.
Again,
Please
they
stop.
take their walking stick and just brace it against the cauldron and push it on through into the next room.
Okay,
I would
now I
like to
don't
point out-
understand. He did that last time. It's always been that.
I would like to point out that we are being just as helpful in chat, by the way.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh,
I
God,
see.
yes.
I see chat. So, as you move on into the third room, again, similar setup. The cauldron is moved in position onto a central dais. There are 4 torches around the outside. And as you make your way in, the doors behind you close. And the elder gets ready to deliver another stirring speech to you.
I bet he is.
Clears his throat and says, "Even the most pure and noble souls must be set on their true path by those with the wisdom to guide them. Where words may shape thoughts and give determination to action, so too can hands give form and determination to shape. Of the curds."
Oh, hell no. What? I ain't touching them. I ain't
Okay, well,
touching them.
Can I get another group investigation check, please?
Of course you fucking can.
I'd say everyone gets advantage on this
Ah.
because you're kind of
Thank
wise.
God.
You're wise to the setup of what's going on
How
here now.
the fuck did I roll 7 twice? That's a 9.
Fantastic.
26.
Beautiful.
Just a 21 this time.
It's 21. And Daisy? We still got Daisy, or has he had to...
Take your stuff.
Death loot question.
Death loot.
Secondary death loot.
You have to stop death looting Daisy.
We haven't achieved it once.
We
yet.
haven't
Sorry,
done
what
it
were you-
yet.
Wait, what's
You-
death looting?
I'll stop when we get it.
Death looting is the practice
We
by
used
which
to
the
do
entire
it dead and we
party...
loot it.
The
You mean
entire...
kill and loot me? I thought you
Yes.
meant death. I thought like a loot, like playing a loot.
No.
Right,
Tasha's
sorry.
not here.
No,
I
the
vanished
death
for a
loot
little
was...
bit.
That's
What-
absolutely fine.
What's happened?
So, you've all been splashed with hot milk to separate the curds and whey from the heated cauldron.
I heard
I'd
that,
rather
but we
lick
took
myself
3
with it.
damage, and then it goes a bit hazy for me.
Yeah. There was some discussion as to whether or not a Warforged could have a lactose intolerance and therefore leverage resistance against poison and immunity to disease against hot milk damage.
Jesus Christ, who came up with that argument?
Well,
Yes.
I would lay the blame solely at the feet of the only Warforged player in the group, but who's to say? Also, Mick made a convincing argument that because they're part cat, they would be cool with it. Needless to say, you've moved on to the next room, which has a
God.
similar setup to the previous 2,
Okay.
and everyone making a group investigation check with advantage, as you are somewhat wise
Investigation.
to the shenanigans of this place so far.
And I rolled just as shit both times.
17, mate.
Okay, fantastic. Again, between you, the elder has again given a little speech, which I popped into the text channel.
Cool.
So,
Even though it's
As you can see around this room, there are a series of what are essentially cheese molds.
So we've got to mold the cheese, is what
Yes,
I'm reading
yeah.
here.
Michael, you can see that there are various different shapes of mold knocking around. Some are so you just your basic sort of wheel shape. Some are blocks. Some other sort of simple geometric shapes.
The one like the
And
Batman symbol.
there is one like the Batman symbol,
Yeah.
which is bizarre. And there
Yeah, I
are
have no idea what that is.
Please
a
don't
couple
say
more sort of esoteric shapes. Some shaped like keys. Some shaped like religious iconography. It's a fair variety going on there.
I will just go grab it. I'll go for the Batman cheese mold.
I'm just gonna
Okay.
go look for the biggest mold so we can put as much in and not have to mold as many.
Is there one shaped like a Neo Armstrong cannon?
No, I'm just going to make a roll on that.
Can-
No,
Can I get one that's shaped
That
like
was
a
a fast.
three-tier
That
wedding
was a
cake?
fast roll. Are you sure you rolled?
I definitely rolled a dice.
Three-tier wedding cake.
Three-tier wedding cake cheese mold.
Okay. I will say that, Michael, you have noticed that there are
No idea.
some symbols on the door.
Okay.
One of which is it's basically a key-shaped hole. It's not a keyhole. It is a relief on the door shaped like the recess of a key. And you find that there is a matching mold of a similar shape and size. Can I get the group to please make me, let's call this a group sleight of hand check to see how good you are at making cheese, forming the curds into molds.
11.
11 from
Solid
Kallus.
15.
Solid 15.
You could say I'm great at molding cheese.
Oh,
Did you settle on sleight of hand? Sorry.
Dex sleight of hand, please. Yes.
Right. 14.
14. Okay. Between you,
23.
you managed to create a very distinctly shaped Batman symbol.
Yay. What's
Some of
Batman?
I'm keeping this.
Batman. No one knows. You recognise the symbol, but no one knows from where.
Is it because his face is knee deep in Catwoman?
Possibly. Who knows? Who knows? Apparently, Batman won't go down this deep, so it's weird that you find his imagery in a tomb
Everywhere.
You managed to make a couple of decent sized blocks of cheese, but Mick, you say you got a. What did you get for yours?
23.
You make a perfect facsimile using the key mold to the relief that is shown on the door.
About the first decent thing I've done all evening.
Hey,
As
that
you-
kind of looks like it could fit in the hole that I discovered earlier.
So as each of you has pressed the molds down, they suddenly take on an incredibly cool, so become cold to the touch, and you sort of pull your hands away, and you can see frost forming on there as they rapidly drop in temperature, and then the frost dissipates, and you're able to open the molds, and you've got these perfect blocks of cheese formed in the likenesses that you've chosen. The elder sort of comes around and looks at your work. Oh, very nice, well done. And then stops at Mick, looks at the key, holds it up and goes, "Oh, you have chosen wisely." And hands the key of cheese to you and beckons you towards the door.
Eat
Alright.
it.
You can say, I feel that you've ruined perfectly good milk, but okay.
Can I eat my Batman symbol?
Yeah, you can take a bite from it.
Tidy.
It's still
Wouldn't it
covered in
break your
frost.
teeth? I was gonna say, it's like liquid nitrogen.
Just walk past Kallus, his tongue stuck to a block of backhand.
Just
So yeah, I'll go to the door with the lovely elder that I want to stab in the face.
It's
You
fine.
will deal with him after, don't worry.
And they've just started sort of almost impatiently kind of like just tapping the top of their walking stick against the key-shaped hole.
I just look at him and go, that stick ain't going to fit in there, mate. Put the cheese in.
Make it fit.
He sort of puffs a little bit, and as the cheese key is set into the door, they pull out their little bell from the pocket and just start ringing it, and just going, "Congratulations, you have passed the 3 rites of Saint Calcius. Through these activities, you have brought great pride to yourselves. Now, we step forward into the resting chamber of both Saint Calcius themselves and our cheese." And as they place their hands on the door and push, they creak open. And as they do, there is a sudden blast of heat from the doorway. And you hear this deep, gurgling voice just come out saying, "Foolish mortals! You dare to enter the realm of Idamamu!" And that's where we're going to take a break.
God, we're
God
fighting
almighty.
Richard Nixon, not Robert Nixon.
We'll be back in about 10 minutes' time to pick this up.
Agnew!
Arr.
And we're back. Before we carry on, we've got another word from tonight's sponsor.
Oh God.
This episode is brought to you by the Cornerstone Arena, home of where sports is played relentlessly. I'm writing this
Whether
from
you
the
want it or not.
infirmary. Cornerstone Sports. It's not in the game, it's in the arena.
Fantastic. Thank you once again to the Cornerstone Arena for sponsoring tonight's episode. So, as you've opened the door to the final chamber, there has been this blast of heat, and this voice has roared out at you, announcing that you now stand in the presence of Idamamu, greater Breeman of the Curdled Hells, lord of the roiling pits of Fondoom, undefeated champion of the Rook Fortress. Why do you disturb me?
You know you can't have inspiration, don't you?
I'm well aware.
So many puns to unpack from this.
Shout out, you're an offence to all the ruined milk.
An offence? Well, we shall have to answer this. And with a very wet thud, this form drops from the ceiling and lands in front of you. And standing before you, you can see the muscular but somewhat gooey form of this humanoid with cloven hooved legs, a large sort of bull-shaped head, and these enormous bat wings rearing up from behind them, dripping with gooey, what you assume is cheese. In one hand, they hold a large sword, long sort of regular blade, which just turns at the tip into two spikes. In the other hand, you can see this long sort of whip made of this same sort of cheese-like material. And as they sort of flick and crack the whip, there's this sudden rush of air, and you're all bodily pulled into the room, and the door slams behind you. And I'm going to need everyone.
Are we fighting a cheese Balrog? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
That would probably be an accurate visual for what we're dealing with here.
Well, this one's
Oh,
made
come
one.
on. Come on. I'm
Not big
lactose
game.
intolerant.
I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative, please.
Oh, it's right bullshit again, yeah. Dice hates me this evening.
Okay.
Rolled a
Nat-
6.
I got a nat 20.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Make you stole all my luck.
Oh, I threw mine on the floor.
There
we go.
How? My sleight of hand is +0. Nat 20?
I got. Yeah. Look. Oh, I can't. No, I can't get this.
Look as I prove it.
Look at all these different
Look at
dice.
it.
It's that one then.
This one.
Okay. So, where are...
Do you want to do a combo attack, Kallus?
Oh, we should. I don't really know how with what I have.
I don't know how either.
It's
Let me
what-
work it out. Let me work it out quickly. Oh, God.
It's
Okay,
my
so
strongest spell.
let's roll this through then. So, Daisy, first of all.
4.
4, fantastic. Kallus.
27.
Am.
Natural 20.
Mike, you're?
An initiative? 20. Nat
Do you have
20.
Yeah.
+7 to your initiative.
Yeah, I have my class bonus.
It's insane.
And finally, Mick, please.
6.
Should probably also roll for the Elder.
Really should.
It's alright. I imagine he'll be before me, Tom.
I don't know. He's probably going to think about it for 4 hours first. I was waiting for you to say after you said he's basically got a giant cheese knife sword. I was waiting for, and he has a shield made of sort of metal with holes in it. It's fucking greater, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, initiative order, we've got Kallus, then Mycure, then Mick, and then Daisy. So, we start top of the round. Kallus, you're up. Mycure, you're on deck.
Okay. How close am I to Mick?
So you've all been pulled in through the door, so you're all sort of grouped together at the door
So
at
I'm
the front of the
within.
room.
Sorry, I should have been more specific. Am I within touching distance of him?
I would say so, yes. Yeah.
Okay. I will use a bonus action to cast magic weapon on whichever one of Mick's daggers is good. I don't know. Whichever one he
Both the
usually
same.
uses. And then I will use my regular action to just cast firebolt in some direction towards the thing.
Okay. So this is, as they have announced themselves,
that is trash.
Idamamu, a greater Breeman of the Curdled Hells.
Yes, that. I will fire. I will fire a firebolt at that, and I'm fairly
Okay.
sure I missed.
Roll, what was that to hit?
12.
12. Unfortunately, it does not hit. It goes a little bit.
Dice is getting banned.
Yeah, the sudden pull through the door has disoriented you a little bit, and your aim's not quite zeroed in at this stage. Anything else from yourself?
Nope.
Okay, fantastic. Mike, you're up. Mick, you're on deck.
Okay, how far away is Idamamu?
I would say probably about 20 feet. They're quite close. It's a fairly small room, and they are occupying quite a lot of it.
Would you say like 25 feet, more than 20 feet?
They would, how does it say, it would be 25 feet to them and certainly 25 feet past them.
Wonderful. That is a good answer. All right. You feel the air start swirling around my cure, and it gets faster and faster and faster, and it feels hotter and hotter as I raise my hand up in a fist, and then I throw out my hand and open my hand, and I cast Fireball
Okay.
at the cheesy thing just behind this sorry sack of cheese.
Okay. So that's
I'll
what?
make a cheese
Dex
bun.
saving throw, is it?
Dex saving throw of 15.
They succeed.
Are you kidding me?
Lame.
So how does that stand them?
They do 12 damage.
12. Okay. So as the fireball goes off, you see the explosion behind them, and they barely register it. Like, you can see the heat wraps around their legs, and it sort of, you can see the sort of cheese structure of it moves to sort of respond to it. It doesn't really appear to do a huge amount. As they do, the elder pipes up with, "Oh, I think he's from somewhere fairly hot. I'd watch out for that. I don't think it's going to do much." Anything else from yourself?
I use tempestuous magic and I start flying in the air.
Okay.
Hovering sounds a lot easier. I can start sailing up to 10 feet if I need to.
No worries. Okay. So then we come to Mick. Daisy, you're on deck.
So the thing says about 20 feet in front of 25.
Yes. Yep.
I'm going to do what I always do and just run and lunge at him and use sneak attack, because why not?
Okay.
Because I believe he hasn't attacked yet, so I have advantage against him.
They have
Assassinate.
not acted yet. No.
So that counts. Right. Oh, let's hope I hit. Come on, dice, don't hate me now. Which I've very much done. Right. That is a... That's a 20 with the +1 from Kallus.
20 hits.
Excellent.
Worth it.
Where is my thing? That... 7 damage to start with, and then I need to roll the sneak attack damage, which is now up to 3d6.
Yep.
Nice.
So in total, that's 20 damage.
20 damage. Okay. Kallus, quick question about the magic weapon enchantment that you've put on that dagger.
Yeah.
Does that make it a magical weapon?
It does.
Does.
For the sake of overcoming stuff.
Okay. Absolutely fine.
I
So,
think.
as
Yes.
carves into, as the first dagger comes in and carves into Idamamu, you can see that the cheese form that you've carved the knife across is sort of scorched and burnt where it's gone through them. And I just look down and go, "Ah, a challenge. Interesting." Anything else from yourself, Mick?
Well, as I have 2 weapon fighting, I might as well try and stab him with my other dagger.
Go right ahead. Roll to hit.
Is 2 weapon fighting count as the bonus action? Or not?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you attack with a light or a finesse weapon, you can make a second attack with
In that
another.
case, I won't attack. I
Okay.
will use a cunning action and dive off and hide.
Okay. No worries. You can go ahead and
Rambunctious.
roll me a stealth check, please.
Oh, I will. That's... Yes. 28.
28. Fantastic.
Where the fuck did I just drop my dice? Yep. Yes.
Okay. Note of that. Okay, so next up it is Idamamu. First thing they're gonna do is they're gonna step forward and they're gonna lash out with their whip at Mykior as they're floating in the air. Mykior, what is your armor class, please?
25
25.
or 11, whichever you prefer.
20.
Are we saying 11 for reals?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
So this whip lashes out and you can just feel it wrap around your leg. As it does, the force of it cuts into you. You take... Where are we? Oof. 17 points of slashing damage.
Okay. Wait, is this slashing damage, not hot milk
This
damage?
is slashing damage, not hot milk damage.
Okay, I was just checking.
Okay. So yeah, they are then going to sort of pull the whip back and swipe at Kallus with the sword. Kallus, what is your armor class, please?
12.
12. Again, that just straight up hits.
Shield
Okay, what does that?
gives me 17 armor class.
17. Okay. Yeah, they still hit you.
Bollocks.
Um,
Shut up. You got hit too, asshole.
Where are we? You
Worth a go.
take 11 points of slashing damage.
Ouch. Okay.
And second sword attack is going to come. Oh no, sorry, they only make 2 attacks. My mistake. That is it for their turn. So, Daisy, you are up, followed by the Elder, and then we're back to the top of the round with Mick, with Kallus. Sorry. Yes. So Daisy, you're up. Elder's on deck, and then Kallus top of the round.
Okay, I'm going to hit them with a Jim's magic missile.
Yep.
So it's a slightly different version to normal. It creates 3 twisting, whistling, hyperallergenic, gluten-free darts of magical force. I have to roll attacks for each one of them, and then roll damage separately.
Okay.
Just to sort of very basically inform you. So the first one I rolled is 25.
Yep, that hits.
And that does 5 damage.
Excellent. So the first missile just straight in a bav, and you can see again it scorches the surface of the creature where it hits.
Okie doke. And the next one does 21.
Yep, again that hits.
And that does, oh shit, I can't read that. 3 damage. And unfortunately, the last one is 7.
Okay, so yeah, the third one doesn't quite hit, but you can see the 2 that have managed to land home have just left these sort of burnt scorch marks in the gooey cheese exterior of this creature.
Would it be fair to maybe suggest that as a cheese-based monster, it doesn't like fire very much? Like, would I know any sort of weaknesses on that basis?
The
Or is
Elder
this-
has already piped up saying that it doesn't seem to be that affected by fire.
Oh, I thought that would have been a no-brainer, but never mind.
Yeah, as the fireball that went off behind it doesn't appear to have done any real lasting damage.
Oh, any sort of elemental damage.
Yeah.
I
I'm
was
just wondering whether I would know or not.
Get
I
it?
suppose is probably more apt.
Elemental.
Emmental.
I was thinking, didn't we see the cheese frost over and solidify earlier
Do we?
when we moulded it?
Mm.
Well, anything else from yourself, Daisy?
Well,
No, that's me. That's me done though.
Okay, no worries. Next up, then, it is going to be the Elder. And they're going
Wow.
to raise their staff and cast Spirit Guardians at 3rd level.
Wow, 3rd level spells.
Oh dear God, it's going to be another bunch of Welsh people stood there just arguing about cheese, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh, I can't believe you let this happen in this dungeon.
Sorry.
Oh, it's ruined the sacred crate.
Cast it as a 3rd level spell. So, they have indicated that you are to be spared. And as they do, you can see that there rises from the floor the form of basically a group of similar robed priests. These time they have their hood up. They've got the same pendant, but they all appear to be carrying great swords in the same style as the sword that's wielded by the Breeman. And the priest sort of starts to move forward, just chanting towards them. As he moves forward, these ghostly figures move in and start sort of almost in like a Remember the elves from the start of the first Lord of the Rings movie where they do that really cool like down the line spin move with the glaives?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They do that and just start hacking at this thing's legs. They've started this sort of rhythmic kind of cheese grinder maneuver at the front while the priest is just standing there chanting.
Oh.
Whilst he's doing that, he just says, "This should hold them for now. Get to St. Calcius's remains. It's the only way to send this beast back." That's going to be the end of their turn, and we are back to the top of the round with Kallus.
Okay. For how far away are said remains?
So just
do I
make.
have any
I
idea?
was going to say, just make me a quick perception check, please. We'll call this a free action.
Oh, come on. That is trash. 3.
Okay. Between the blinding,
Easy,
between the blinding heat and the quote unquote cheese balrog, it's difficult to see anything of any value around the chamber.
Bollocks.
But you do take their words to heart, and you're gonna mentally pocket that information.
Okay.
How would you like to use your turn?
So I think I am just gonna use magic missile at level 2 against it because I've got nothing else I can really do.
Okay, no worries.
So yeah, all 3 darts at it.
Oh, it's just
So it just hits
straight up hit. So how many darts is that?
all 3. So it's.
Do you get any more for? Do you say you're casting it at second level?
Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. Yes, sorry,
Yeah.
before. So that's
Yeah.
10, 14, 19 total. Wow, that's pretty good, actually.
Not bad at all. Yeah, so as each of these 4 darts sort of blast forth from your hands, you can see them again, similar to how Daisy's spell went off. As each one hits the surface of this creature, you can see it is burning and scorching the liquid cheese of its form at the point of impact. There's quite an interesting smell of burnt cheese in this place now. Before it was sort of a kind
Oddly
of
pleasing.
Before it was kind of like a sort of mellow but slightly sulfuric kind of cooking cheese smell, whereas now it's taking on a bit more of a acrid, burnt overtone. Anything else from yourself?
Nope.
Okay, that's fine then. So, okay, and then we've got. Okay, brilliant. Cool. So, moving on then. Mike, you are up. Mick, you're on deck.
Okay, I kind of take like a baseball pitcher stance.
Yep.
And I wind up, and as I start, my hand comes above my head, and all of a sudden there's like a javelin of lightning.
Yep.
And then I hurl it, and it comes out in a big long beam towards the fondue fool over there.
Fool, fantastic.
And I cast lightning bolt, fuckers.
Okay.
Nice.
With respect to Idamamu, they are officially one of their official titles is Lord of the Roiling Pits of Fondoom. So if you're gonna
Fondue,
if you're gonna
fool,
try and take pop shots at them, please at least get their titles right.
I would say pot shot, but it's a lightning bolt. Bit more than a pot shot.
Bit more.
So
Cool. That's
yeah.
fine. So
Dex save.
Dex save on their part. Okay. Yes. What are they looking to beat? Sorry.
15.
15. Fail. They rolled ass.
Nice.
Okay. And I'm also empowering this spell.
Okay.
And what that means is that I can re-roll up to 4 of the dice
Go
that I
for
so
it.
choose. Oh no, where did that go? Where did my roll go? It was really good. My roll just disappeared. Can I find
It's
re-rolls?
still there.
It'll
How
show
do I
up.
see it
I was
again?
going to say it'll
You
show
got
up in
1,
the
6,
game log.
4, 2, 4, 4, 5, 2.
Where in the game log? Sorry. This is a complete noob moment for me.
Where it says campaign, the little red thing.
Oh!
Log.
Yep. Okay, so. It's gone again. What?
Broke it.
I broke it.
Can we have his stuff?
Well, I'm guessing you're going to want to re-roll the 1, the 2,
Yeah, the 1
2,
and the 2.
and the 4.
I'll just roll I'll just re-roll the 3. So,
Okay.
and that was D6. Cool. So that's 13 instead of 1, 2, and 2. So we add 8 to that, which is 34 damage.
Nicely done.
Is that right? Because it was 26. Yeah,
Just-
because it's gone. It's gone. It vanished completely on mine. So I have no idea what the game log says. I originally cast.
You got 28 originally, and then you've re-rolled.
Oh, so
a
add
1.
8 to that. So that's yeah, 28. So that's 36. 36 damage.
36 damage. No worries. That's fine. So, yeah.
Technology.
Big money numbers there from the lightning bolt. As it sort of leaps from your hand and you force this additional sorceress energy into it, you can see that it's gone from the sort of kind of piddly Sith lightning kind of approach to essentially just like a
Beam.
frigging cannon on
A
there.
Neo Armstrong cannon, if you will.
It tears a hole through Idamamu's shoulder, and you can see that it is just cauterized, this core hole of cheese just above their left pectoral, and you can see right the way through to the other side. Now that they've opened it up, Kallus, you can see that on the other side of the Bremen is a carved statue of an elf holding one of these sort of odd-looking swords with the curved two-pronged tip on there, sort of standing kind of resplendent over like a stone casket at the back of the room. Michael, anything else from yourself?
I kind of fly back a little bit further now, so I'm at the very back of the group because I don't want to get whipped again. That really hurt.
That's fine. Okay, if that is the end of your turn, we've then got Mick. You're up, and Daisy, you're on deck.
Use a bonus action to shift.
Mm-hmm. So the claws and fangs are out.
Then, with the extra movement I've got,
You could say he's going Long Clawson style.
I'm going to head straight for what the Elder said and head straight for this fancy statue that's just been revealed.
Okay. That's absolutely fine. What would you like to do with regards to the statue?
Get there, I don't know, pick it up, see what there is. Like you're saying,
Okay, so to describe the statue to you, you've got a sort of like 6 foot by 2 foot sort of stone casket set widthways on the floor. Above it, and this thing is probably about 20 feet tall. This is not like a little. This is not like an altar statue. This is like the relief has been carved into the entire height of the wall on the back of the chamber of this this elf with it carved with robes, and they've got this. They're holding it hilt upwards, blade down. One of these sort of swords with the narrow blade with the curved tip to it.
Well, he's told us to come over to his crypt because that's the only way to stop this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything over here that's blatantly obvious that might help us?
As an action, you can make an investigation check.
Yes, let's do that.
Go for it.
Finally got. That's a 18.
Okay. I will. As you look around the tomb for any sort of indication of how this statue sort of plays into it, you find that there is an inscription on the front of the casket, which I will whisper to you whilst we move forward. So, next up then we have got Idamamu, who is not so pleased with Mike's attempts, but they can't actually move forward because of the wall of guardians in front of them. They try to take a step, and again, just this sort of whirling line of spectral blades comes up. So whilst they try to make an attack with the whip, they've just had their shins razored by these guardians. So the whip attack fails to make its mark. They are, however, going to bring their longsword down onto the elder, who is not particularly resilient to giant demon swords, apparently. Where are we? There we are. They take 16 points of slashing damage.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear. Sounds like a lot for an elder.
They are brought low. You can see on their face they are desperately trying to maintain concentration, but they grip their walking stick extra tight, and they sort of stand unsteadily back to their feet, still chanting. And at this point, you can hear that their voices, even though their body is starting to break, you can hear their voices starting to rise in pitch and tone, and you can get this sense of religious fervour come from as the guardians start to glow brighter, and you can just make out them chanting the words, "Come on, Davago, if you think you're hard enough."
Oh my god.
I really thought there was going to be some sort of Gorgonzola-based comment, but never mind.
With that, it is Daisy's turn.
I'm going to chromatic orb them, or at least
Yep.
attempt to. Does a 16 hit?
16 does not hit.
Oh dear. In which case,
Damn.
nothing happens.
So yeah, the chromatic orb just goes wide on there and just blasts a section of the ceiling. You see some bits of stone debris fall down.
How many people? How damaged is it looking? This Gorgonzola monstrosity.
It's definitely injured. You can see the impacts of where spells have started to hit it have created these little scorched pock marks across the front of its form. Most notably is this large hole in its sort of the upper left of its chest, where Mike's lightning beam has just tore ass through it.
Sure did. I fire lightning now.
Taste my lightning, suckers.
Cool. So, anything else from yourself?
No, I think I'm going to leave it. I didn't know whether to use one of my abilities or not. That was all.
Fair enough. Okay. So next up we have got the Elder, who is not looking in a good way. They are keeping up the Spirit Guardians. I've got to be honest, there's not much more they can do other than they raise their walking stick, and you see this blinding flash of light emanating from it. And you can see sort of running from the Idamamu's hip upwards is this scorch mark in just basically a solid line straight up to just below the hole that Mike has carved into there. It appears to have done, again, the same sort of damage where it's just burnt the liquid cheese of its body. With that, that's the end of the Elder's turn, and we are back to the top of the round. Kallus, you're up. Mike, you're on deck.
Okay. I am. How far away is this statue that you pointed out?
So the altar
before?
is on the far side of the room. I'd say from where you are, probably about 35, 40 feet away.
Okay. Is there a way that I can run around so that the thing won't hit me on the way past? Even if I use my action, then dash. Yeah, action to dash.
You can certainly try. I would say that because of the size of this thing, it does occupy quite a large part of the room, but you could probably
kinda
hug
what I
the
thought.
wall enough to get past.
Then I will use all of it to get to there, and then I'm assuming I can't do anything.
So
when
it'd
I
be
get
your
there.
movement and taking the dash action to get enough.
Yeah.
To get round.
Okay.
You still have access to
I'm
a
gonna do
bonus. Yeah, that's fine. You've still got a bonus
Yeah,
action.
I don't think I can do anything with bones.
So you just take off sprinting round the side of the room and just skid to a halt next to the altar, and you can see that Mick is reading an inscription just on the front of it.
Okay. Yeah, I have nothing else for a bonus action. So yeah, I'll just go to Mick and see if I can read along with. But actually, no, that'd be an action, wouldn't it, to read it?
The fact that Mick has already identified it means I'd allow you to use your bonus action to read it.
Okay, I will do that then.
Okay, so as you do, you read the same message that Mick has identified, which I will whisper to you.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so it's the end of your turn. Mike, you're up. Mick, you're on deck.
Okay.
So, Mike, what are we planning?
We are. Sorry, I completely zoned out for a second.
All right.
We are going to start flicking my finger back and forth in like a crosshatch pattern in front of him.
Okay.
But as I'm doing so, the air's going to go colder around the Bremen.
Yep.
And snowballs are going to start hitting him. Left,
Okay.
right, center. I'm starting to use Mike's Frozen Flurry.
Fantastic. So, is that a saving throw on their part?
Dex saving 50.
Dex saving throw. Nat 20.
Oh, love that.
Come on, this thing.
So does
Hey,
that
man.
mean you missed everything?
Well, what does the spell read?
Like if they dodge it, it's half.
Okay, so you just roll the damage, then we halve it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So 6 damage he takes.
Okay.
Already halved it.
Okay, as it does, so they managed to sort of take a step back away from the spectral guardians, who immediately start to move forward to cover the ground. As the snowballs go off, most of them miss, but the ones that were sort of already aiming towards it, it sort of, as it backs away, it just catches those. Where they strike the Bremen in the face, you can see that the cheese has stopped moving. So rather than this sort of constant sort of almost like cascade down their body, it is starting to freeze up, and you can see that they're just almost kind of like they're having a stroke. It's like part of their face has become paralyzed.
Okay. Cool.
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 Anything else from yourself?
No, I'm good.
Okay, no worries. So next up then, we've got Mick and Daisy. You're on deck.
I will, since Kallus has joined me over here, retrieve said bat-shaped cheese from him and
Yep.
place it on top of the altar. Casket, whatever it is.
Okay. That would be your action for the turn.
Yep.
But as soon as you do, you hear this sort of grinding noise, and you can see that the statue has started to shift in place, and you can see the arms are starting to kind of flex out, and the stone relief of the sword is starting to be lifted from the ground. I just need both you and Kallus to make me a dexterity saving throw, please, to avoid being hit by falling debris as this statue starts to come to life.
Oh
18.
shit.
Okay.
8.
Kallus, you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage from errant debris that you fail to. Already out of breath from running around the room. You've not quite recovered enough to make the necessary acrobatic dodges or match Mick's cat-like reflexes.
Okay.
Any bonus actions from yourself, Mick?
Not currently, no.
Okay, that's fine. As this happens, the Bremen turns to see they hear the statue moving. They turn and they go, "No, I will not return." And they lash out with the whip at Mick. Mick, what is your armor class?
14.
14. That hits. You take 20 points of slashing damage.
I will use uncanny dodge.
So
Nice.
Oh, clutch, my man.
Nice.
So that's what,
Nice.
halved, is it?
You're
Yes.
fucking sick.
So 10 points of slashing damage. Kallus, what is your armor class?
It is a 12.
Okay, so the sword just comes barreling down towards you.
Shield?
Yeah. Okay.
So my armor class is now 17. Come on, shield.
Clutch. Just. Yeah, so the sword comes down and you just...
Oh, thank God.
I'll be honest, this is so razor-thin margin you're working with here. As the sword comes down, the wave of magical energy above you just forces you to your knees, but you can see that this thing has stopped millimeters from going into your skull. And the reverb just kind of...
me as well.
As the sort of reverb travels back up the Bremen's arm, you can see just like flecks of hot cheese sort of flicking off and landing on the floor as they recoil and get ready for another attack. Next up then, we've got Daisy, followed by the Elder, and then we're back to the top of the round. So, Daisy, what are you up to?
I thought since I didn't hit the first time, I would try again with a chromatic orb. But this time I did 15. So I'd like to use my... Hang on a second. How many of us are there?
There
1,
is
2,
technically 5 of you, including the Elder.
5 of it. So 4. If I had... Would a 19 hit, Thomas?
A 19 would just hit.
I'm obviously using save and face just to
Yes,
make that clear. I rolled 15. And I do 19 acid damage.
Okay.
I should have said that up front, sorry.
Acid.
That's absolutely fine. So as the chromatic orb takes on the sort of the acidic, sickly green glow, you just punt it into the back of this thing's head as it's turned away to deal with Kallus and Mick. As it does, you can see that there is an immediate reaction between the acid that you've just hucked and the back of this thing's skull. and it just starts bubbling, and you can see that the cheese now is actually sort of starting to melt away faster. Like no, whereas before it was this sort of almost steadily replenished cascade. Now it is just just sloughing off the back of its skull. There doesn't appear to be any bone structure underneath, but you can see there is now this sort of divot carved out of the back of its head. Anything else from yourself?
It's not.
I guess not.
No?
Oh, he did.
He's super dead.
Did he spill acid on himself?
Spill acid
I'm
on
not
the
going to
mic.
ask if we can loot him.
Daisy's muted themselves.
Dead loot.
Dead loot!
Okay. Well, we'll go to the elder for now. We'll come back to Daisy if they reappear.
Oh, drop.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they've dropped out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, no worries. We'll come back to them in a sec. So, the elder has sort of stood themselves up and sort of limping forward now, still chanting, still forcing the spirit guardians towards the creature, and they again just another wave of these blades just spin and start like cutting chunks out of the back of this thing's legs now. With that, we are back to the top of the round with Kallus. You're up, Mike. Your is on deck.
Okay. Sorry, what did Mick achieve with the thingy? I
So
apologise.
Mick placed the Batman symbol cheese on top of the tomb of St. Calcius.
Yes.
The statue began to animate. You missed exactly what was going on as you sort of basically took a couple of bits of falling ceiling to the face. But as you look up, you can see that it is starting to move and flex. The arms are starting to free themselves, and they're lifting the sword.
So it seems to be carrying on and not waiting for input, if you will.
No.
Like it's okay. I will just launch some more magic missiles at the creature. Then I think the cheese balrog.
Absolutely fine. If you want to go
That's
ahead.
I'll do second level again because I might need shield again. So 4 darts. So 5, 8, 12, 16 total.
16 to hit, was that, sorry, was that 16 damage?
Sorry, that's 16 damage total.
Oh yeah, sorry, because magic missile.
Yeah, this one just hits.
Absolutely fine. So yeah, they just go off without a hitch. And again, every time you see the strike the creature, you've again got this sort of scorched, burnt cheese thing. This thing's got sort of like a completely pockmarked chest now from where it's taken the various magical damage. Anything else from yourself?
No, I don't think so. I think I'll stay where I am.
No worries. Okay.
I think Lacey's in the obligatory unicorn, by the way. I don't know if he's unintentionally
Okay, we'll just drag.
moved himself in there.
Daisy, you with us again?
I don't think so.
He's just put
no,
his
sorry,
internet.
just messaged me the
messed
internet
in
is
his
fouling
WhatsApp,
up.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We press
Okay.
on.
We'll press on.
Death loot.
No death looting the party members unless they
Secondary
actually
death
die.
loot.
So yes.
Arranged.
Sorry, Kallus, is that the end of your turn?
Hey,
Yes.
I'm back.
Yes.
But,
Oh, you're back.
Yes.
Welcome back.
So
He's
yeah,
dead in my
Yeah.
mind. Oh.
Yep.
Absolutely fine. Sorry, just nipping back then quickly, Daisy. Any movement or bonus actions on your turn?
did it die? It sounded like
It's
died.
still kicking.
Ugh,
Cheese Balrog still kicking.
what a prick.
It's alright, I got this, don't worry.
Nah, I'm gonna leave it to I've forgotten your name. I'm very, very sorry, Mike. Yeah.
Mike, yeah. It's okay.
There we go. Okay. No worries then. So, Mike, you're up. Mick, you're on deck.
Would you say the Bremen's made of like organic stuff, or would you say
no.
it's like unholy, like inorganic stuff?
He's alive.
The material, as far as you can tell, they appear to be made of superheated cheese.
So is that organic or inorganic in your eyes?
As best you can assume, it is organic, being that it is cheese.
Fine. Okay. However, I will throw my hands together in a massive clap
Yep.
and cast Thunder Wave. However, I will transmute the spell in order to make it cold damage, and I use Thunder Wave.
Okay.
Now that needs a Constitution save of 15.
Con save 15.
Please tell me I'm not in range of that.
They pass.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's bullshit.
Okay, they take half as much damage as whatever I'm about to throw now.
Shit game. Uninstall.
So they take 5 damage.
Okay. That's already halved, yeah?
Yeah, it's already halved.
Okay. So as the
It's sad.
frozen thunder wave emerges from your hands, you can see that it causes these this sort of chill across the creature's wings as it's now facing away from you. It doesn't quite seem to last though. So the ice forms, you can see that the sort of surface freezes up, but it thaws fairly quickly and starts to return back to normal. It is, you know, it's taking a little bit longer than previous for the sort of cascading cheese to cover over where the frozen parts have like sloughed off. But yeah, you're not so pleased with how much of an impact it's had, but it has had an impact. Mick, we come to you then if my cure is done.
I'm so done.
Okay. Mick, you're up. Daisy, you're on deck.
Okay, I need to get my character sheet. There it is. I am going to just take a running slash at the thing with my dagger.
Okay. No worries. Go for it. Roll to hit, please. You do have an ally in combat with them, so if you are able to hit, you would activate your sneak attack bonus.
That is a 19 to hit.
Just
Yes, because
hits.
thank God that Kallus magically imbued my weapon. Because I would have missed every time.
Coming in clutch.
Yup.
So that hits.
But
So
it's
yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage to start with, and then it's 6. Right, it's 18. 23 damage.
Fantastic. So yeah, again, as you slash at this thing's legs, you can see the sort of the vertical slash marks where the spirit guardians have been hacking away at the legs, and you basically use that to just like cross off a tally mark across both of its shins. And as you do, you can see that the blade just cuts through, creating this scorch mark across the cheese, which then starts to creep up through the vertical cuts caused by the spirit guardians. Anything else from yourself?
Yes, so as I sprint past and slice his legs, I'm then going to bonus action hide.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead. Roll me a stealth check,
Underneath
please.
him.
Just a shit. My stealth, that's a nat 20, so that is a 29.
Okay.
Damn, nice.
Fantastic.
You vanish from creation.
I like how my nat 20 got wasted on me fucking hiding.
So as you hide, you basically like sort of dived off between. So where the statues come loose, a decent chunk of rock has fallen down to the side of the room, and you basically duck and cover smoke bomb behind that rock to hide from the Bremen. As Idamamu screams in fury at having their legs slashed, they look down directly at your hiding place.
God dang it.
And with a thunderous crack, the whip shatters the rock apart. I need you to make a dex saving throw, please.
Uh-oh.
That is 15 plus. That's a 21.
21. Okay. So you manage to... You are quick enough to see them kind of telegraphing the whip as it comes down. You manage to just sort of tuck and roll out of the way and spring back to your feet. As you do, you see the sword coming down straight at you. What's your armor class, please?
14.
14.
Go on, I believe in you.
That's a nat 1.
Hey! What?
Oh dear. Yeah. So the amount of damage they're taking is like throwing their aim. So even though they're able to deadeye a boulder with a whip, they somehow manage to miss hitting you with the sword. And as you've sort of rolled out of the way, you stop just as the sword comes down directly in the path of where you were rolling, and just puts a big cut into the stone flooring next to you. That is the end of their go. Next up, we've got, Daisy, followed by the Elder, and then we're back to the top of the round with
No
Kallus.
match for my feline reactions.
So, Daisy, if you can hear us, you are up.
Sorry, I'm eating, so I
All right.
muted myself. Yes. Spells. I'm gonna, since it worked the first time, I'm gonna attempt another chromatic orb. This will be my last level 2.
Go for it.
21 to hit.
21 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll some damage, please.
Ooh, 13. Ooh, I don't know what to go with. Acid damage? Yeah, I got acid damage again.
Okay.
That's horrible.
So as this one goes off, again, you've managed to take position behind it with... well, as it's basically turned around, you managed to capitalise on Mike's freezing of the wings. And as the chromatic orb hits, you manage to deadeye it directly between where the wings attach to the body and just melt them both off. They just puddle to the ground in this sort of rapidly curdling and very now foul-smelling, partially digested pool of cheese on the floor.
Cool.
Anything else from yourself?
I'm done.
You good? Cool. The Elder is up again. They are not looking too heavy, but they are going to use their action to maintain the Spirit Guardians and get them to throw in another wave of attacks against the creature's legs. So that's 10 points of slashing damage to this beastie. Okay, so back to the top of the round. Kallus, you're up. Mike, you're on deck. This thing is not looking in a good way.
How? Okay. How is the statue doing at this moment?
The statue at this point has basically managed to free itself from the wall. It's still behind the tomb, and it has turned the sword upright, so it is now holding it sort of directly in front of its face in a sort of ready stance.
And how far is the statue from the thing?
The statue would be probably about 20 feet back from where this creature is.
I think I would just fire at it again and hope this statue does something. So I will use my final second level spell and fire yet more magic missiles at it.
Okay, go for it. Magic missiles, automatic hit, and just roll for damage, is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
So 2, 6, That's 7 even. 10. 13 total. Yeah, that was alright.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, as the magic bolts go off again, you can see that they are scorching and burning the quote unquote flesh of this creature, and just causing these horrible now burn marks. You see also the cheese that's started to take on a bit more of a kind of sickly. You can see like sort of hints of what almost look like mold starting to make their way through.
Ooh,
You can see like sort of you can see like the sort of blues and greens starting to make their way through the surface. You can also see where the like veins of mold aren't appearing. There appears to be sort of points of it are starting to boil.
Okay.
So mainly towards sort of the upper surfaces, like the shoulders and the tops of the thighs, you can see that it is actually sort of bubbling and bursting, these air pockets like breaking free from the body.
Okay. I am gonna move out of the way from between the statue and the thing and
Yep.
just get as far away from the bubbling cheese as I can.
Okay, that's absolutely fine.
Stuff.
Basically,
Against the wall or
I was
something.
going to say the you could basically take some cover in some of the masonry that's been dislodged from the ceiling at this stage.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
As you do, you notice that there is a stack of cheese wheels behind the rock that appears to have been untouched.
Ooh.
Anything else from yourself?
Nope.
Okay. My cure. You're up. Mick, you're on deck.
I become a little more desperate and a little more frantic with my movements now. My whole arm moving into it as I cast another like Mike's Frozen Flurry.
Yep. Absolutely
Dex
fine.
saving
So
throw
that's another
15.
dex saving throw 15. Second natural one.
Hey.
Straight up fail.
Noise.
That is 11 cold damage.
Okay, so yeah, there's no way that they're dodging this one. Full force of the
Every
frozen flurry.
snowball landing.
Pop, pop, pop. Everything's going off.
Pop, pop.
Anything else from yourself?
I'm making sure I am 10 feet high and far away as possible. Because this
Okay.
bubbling cheese is getting everywhere.
Yep, that's fair. Okay, so Mick, you're up. Daisy, you're on deck.
How this thing's still standing, I don't know.
I will jump back in for another slash at the creature with
Yep.
my imbued
Double
dagger.
sickle tickle.
Go for it.
15 to hit.
15 misses.
Dang it. So as I miss, I will then
Did you add
take...
the +1?
Yes, I did. The bonus action of... I'd see, would I dash back? What does disengage mean? That's...
Disengage basically means that you can get out of combat without triggering opportunity attacks.
I can do that anyway. While I'm shifted. I'll
Yep.
just dash backwards, basically. Out the way.
So
Didn't know
you,
you could
are
do
you
Fuck my attack and we're... Oh shit. Looks like...
okay? No worries, that's absolutely fine. Okay, yeah. So your movement, if you're taking the disengage action, your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks for the rest of the turn.
Mhm.
Okay, that's fine. So you disengaged out, just stab, and then
Yeah.
whoop, nope.
Yep.
Bounced away. Absolutely fine. So you're not hidden, but your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Cool. So next up we've got Idamamu, who at this point they're seeing that the writing is on the wall for them. They're like, "You have bested me, but I am not so easily defeated." And you can see their entire body now has started to roil and bubble and is starting to bloat. Daisy, you're up.
I'm I'm not muted, am I? No.
Nope.
I am going to Chromatic Orb again. 20
Yep.
to hit. And 13. And I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do a bit of cold damage this time, please. I'll
Okay.
take cold damage, please, Thomas.
Let's see cold damage. So what was that? 13 cold damage.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, as the chromatic orb hits, you can see that the point at which it contacts starts to slow this kind of boil and swelling of the cheese balrog. You can see the just the point at which it contacts and just shatters, starting to sort of slow the reaction. It is looking in a really bad way now. It's just laughing manically and boiling its own body. Anything else from yourself?
No, I'm not engaged, so I can just, I don't know, do a little dance.
Make a little love.
Absolutely
Yeah.
fine. So,
Cheese
the
bombed tonight.
Really breathe down tonight.
We're getting about to be cheese bombed by the seems.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
the elder
So I was
summons
taking cover.
all of their might into another wave of attacks from the spirit guardians, and this one really seems to hit home. The blades spin, the Bremen's legs are taken from underneath it, and it goes down onto its hands, still madly cackling, its body still boiling and starting to swell up. And that brings us back to the top of the round with Kallus.
Okay. I will Scorching Ray at 3rd level on it. All 3.
Okay, no worries.
Because I'm running out of spells. Yeah. That is a 26 to hit, a 21 to hit, and a 25 to hit.
All 3 hits.
Awesome. I'm going to use D&D Beyond to roll these. So that's 7, 6, and 9. So 34. I'm having problems mathing here. 13 damage total.
With a 7, a 6, and a 9.
What
No.
would it?
It's 22, wouldn't it?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm being special. I'm counting other things here. Sorry. Yes.
Absolutely fine. How do you want to do this?
Oh. Hey.
No.
Just kind of like, I can't think what the cheese is that you. Is it raclette that you scrape off? So I'm just going to use the rays to like scrape off layers of cheese.
Absolutely fine. So yeah, as the 3 rays come out, the first one sort of goes from ceiling to floor down and takes off basically the one arm. The second one comes and takes down the second arm, and there's just these 2 limbs of bubbling cheese that just start to melt their way into the floor. It sort of looks at you, and still cackling, its body still boiling and bubbling. The 3rd ray comes down and just straight down the centre from toupee to taint, just straight down the middle of this thing. As it does, you see the whole body start to boil over. And there is a moment where you see all of the mass of this creature detonate out. It gets no more than a foot or so away from the creature when it just freezes in place, and you can see ice forming over it, and it just remains as this sort of almost like frozen sculpture in place. And as you look up, you can see that the statue has lowered the sword towards it, and you can see that there is this patina of frost along the blade, touching onto the Bremen's detonated body.
Noise.
At this point, the priest looks up and goes, Saint Calcius, he has returned at our hour of need. Oh, praise be to he. Praise be. Quickly, my friends. The holy texts, they lie behind the tomb. Read them and let us bring an end to this senseless conflict.
But I said I'd go meet my friends after I did the thing. So I'm. Can I go yet?
You may leave if you wish, but this will be where we find out what Saint Calcius truly meant, whether the cheese should be grated or sliced before being placed on the toast.
I'll go and read this nonsense.
I would like to see logic prevail,
Okay.
I'm just really happy I'm
but
not
I
picking cheese
do
out of my
like throwing pebbles.
So, Kallus, you, as you step towards the sarcophagus, you can see that there is a panel that has slid open on the back of it, and inside there is a fairly hefty leather-bound book. On the front cover is again a symbol of the same sword that you've seen, with just this long blade, curves at the tip with two sort of tines coming off of it. And can you just go ahead and make me, we'll just call this a straight intelligence check, just to sort of gauge how quickly you're able to flick through the book to the pertinent passages.
19.
Excellent. What languages do you speak?
Common, for some reason, Gnomish and Halfling.
Okay, that's fine. It takes me a little while because whilst it is written in common, there's like a brief foreword where you realise that St. Calcius has chronicled their notes and tenets in a manner that may be conveyed to anyone, regardless of whom they are or who they follow. The sort of syntax and sentence structure is very old-fashioned, so it takes you a little while to find what you need. Eventually, you get to the passage about how St. Calcius would prepare for diplomatic meetings, and you find a series of rituals that mirror exactly the trials that you've gone through so far, before finally it comes to sort of a list of what are essentially cheese recipes and ways in which the cheese can be prepared. And you find the listing for cheese on toast. And you don't find any mention of how the cheese must be prepared, aside from a very hastily scrawled footnote at the bottom of the page. And whilst it is clearly the same handwriting that has made the rest of the tome, it just appears to have been like an addendum on there afterwards.
The cheese may be grated or sliced, but must be laid upon brown bread, for it is the most wholesome of wheat-based conveyances. I read out to everybody. Well, excellent.
Oh, brown bread. This guy's a freak. I'm leaving.
Burn it!
We must tell no one.
We must destroy it. It's
We
too
must
powerful
destroy the
to be
evidence.
left here.
I cast firebolt at the sacred text.
Roll to hit.
Oh God!
You're
Wait,
holding
I'm
the
holding
book.
this.
Exactly.
I don't have that much HP.
That's 14.
What's the armor class of a book?
You hit Kallus in the chest.
God damn it!
Roll for damage.
I'm gonna have to repair my robes now, asshole.
Oh, one
This
is
kill-
spinning. One is spinning. All right, 10 damage.
Okay.
Kallus, you take 10 points of religiously
Fire.
misappropriated fire damage. At this point, the priest rushes forward and just
These firebolts are really hard to hit.
scoops up the book as best they can. He goes, "What are you doing? This can end the conflict. We can get you your cheese delivery. We can get the village back to how things were. What are you
Brown
trying?"
bread.
I suppose.
But bread. That's so
Well, they've already
fleshy.
ruined the milk, so why let they just ruin the bread as well?
Okay, I've got an idea.
So have I.
And I grab a piece of green cloak that's come off of Kallus's like singed fragments,
Okay.
and I take the red bandana off of my head, and I wrap the red bandana across one arm, and I wrap the green bandana on my other arm, and I cast tempestuous magic, and I start floating into the air.
Okay.
And I start floating, and I start flying out, and I end up hovering in the no man's land between the graters and the slicers.
Okay.
And then I go,
Wasn't one of the colours blue?
was it blue or green?
Blue.
I thought it
I
was
get the intention. Yes, the
Fine.
graters were wearing red, I believe. Where
It was
are
red
we?
v blue. That's just
The colours were red and blue. Yes, yeah. Graters wearing
Okay,
blue. Sorry,
so blue and
slicers
red,
wearing
blue and red, blue and red. It's fine, it's fine. And I say, brothers, I have returned in the soul of this soulless robot. And I decree that both grating and slicing is deemed valid. But it must be on the brownest of bread to make all that is cheese on toast truly sacred.
Make me a performance check.
Not persuasion. Performance it is. Fine. Fuck
Yep.
yes.
take it. We all just going to
16!
stroll out while he's doing this.
Okay. It's enough to give the mob pause for thought. It's starting to get dark at this stage, and you can see that the torches have been lit, and they're ready and raring to go. It's enough of a ridiculous performance to cause both sides to just briefly stop what they're doing and come together, looking at you with what is a universally cocked eyebrow. As you sort of bask in this, believing that you have pulled off the reverence of a returning saint, the elder sort of totters in behind you and goes, "Whilst our friend here is spouting absolute bollocks, the Holy Tome does confirm both grating and slicing are acceptable, provided that we use brown bread." And there is a universal, "Oh, that's what that means," from both sides of the crowd. And as we wrap up on tonight's session, the camera sort of pans out away from the town of Keth as the barricades are dismantled. Both sides come together with sort of embarrassed handshakes and, "Oh, sorry about wrecking your shop. Oh, sorry about throwing rocks at your child." And there is an uneasy relaxation of the tension. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. My thanks once again to everyone for playing. Happy Father's Day again to fathers playing in the form of Mr. James Lacey, fathers absent in the form of Mr. Lee Shaw, and fathers everywhere. We will be back in 2 weeks' time on Sunday the 4th of July, which is not celebrated over here for any particular reason, to do this all
What do you
over
mean?
again.
Colonials.
Until then, stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, and we will see you next time. Good night.
Good night, Dice Roll fans.
Good night.